24 hours? Was it worth it?
Hi, I'm Zach. Behind the camera's Tim. We want to welcome you to A Table Outside. So today we're going to be doing something that's very near and dear to my heart. Something that I grew up watching my grandfather do, watching my cousins do, watching my dad do. That's smoking a brisket. This is not just any brisket though. This is a Central Texas styled smoked brisket. Low and slow, baby. Always wins. So for the brisket today, we went back to our friends there at Risden's Butchers here in Brentwood, Essex. They sell high quality meat, and this just so happens to be a 37-day dry aged piece of meat. What I did was I took the brisket, as you can see, and didn't cut anything off the top. We're gonna leave the fat cap intact, but when we flip it over, there's quite a bit of under fat, right? So what I did was I took just some of the excess fat off. You don't want to take too much off because you like that fat. That fat helps to render into the beef. So that's why this is here, all right? So I guess first things first we're gonna do is we're gonna take our mixture here. All right, this is something that I learned to do in Central Texas. Franklin's Barbecue does something very similar. Is in Central Texas, we tend to have a spray, a mist that we spray on top of the beef as it's cooking. And all this is a bottle of apple cider vinegar and 1 beer, all right? Instead of a regular spray bottle, I like this whole atomizer thing. Why? Because you get a nice mist. All right, so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna take this mister, the spray mixture, and normally this is saved for after the beef is already on to the fire, into the smoking chamber. You spray it just to keep it from drying out, add some extra flavor. But we're gonna do something a bit different. We're gonna take it, we're gonna spray the meat down first. Flip it over and spray again. It doesn't need much, just a light coating on it. All right, now what we're gonna do is flip it back over to the base side again, is we're gonna take our seasoning. All right, so for this seasoning, this is straight up Central Texas style, very simple, 2 seasonings. Pepper and salt, that's it.
Complicated.
Salt and pepper, very complicated, right? So most people think, dang, Zach, that's a lot of pepper, but in Central Texas, we use a lot of pepper, normally about a 50-50 split between the salt and the pepper. All right, so for this, we used a coarse ground black pepper and cooking salt. Remember, cooking salt's key. Why? It helps penetrate the meat. So what we're just gonna do then is we're gonna take it and we're gonna liberally sprinkle it over the top, like so.
Did we mention we're doing this for 24 hours?
That's right, a 24-hour low and slow. The lower and slower, the better. Why? It helps that meat really render down, but not only that, it helps the smoke impart flavor into the meat. We're gonna hit a couple stalls. So if you know anything about smoking, or if you don't know anything about smoking, what you'll find out is when you're smoking, you're gonna hit probably 2 or 3 stall points where the temperature does not rise for some time. That's okay. Those stall points are important. You need them to help, one, render down the fat that's inside of the meat, but also to help the smoke impart flavors. All right, when it comes to the salt and pepper, you're like, well, Zach, how much did you use? You know, honestly, it depends on the size of brisket that you have. It's one of those eyeball things. You got to feel it out. I wish I could give you exact measurements. This was probably maybe half a cup and half a cup. Half a cup of cooking salt and half a cup of coarse ground black pepper. You could maybe use a little more, maybe use a little less. It all depends upon you and your preferences.
This is for a 5 kilogram piece of meat.
5.67 kilogram, I believe. That's roughly a 12.5 pound brisket. And I know some of you in Texas are like, well, that's not a very big brisket. I can smoke a 20-pound brisket. Well, that's fine. Over here in England, most of the time, you don't get brisket uncut like this. Most of the time, they cut it and roll it, cut it and roll it.
Yep.
Why? It's just what they do over here. But we're bringing it back, the whole brisket, untrimmed. And something else over here is most of the beef over here is grass-fed. Very rarely are any grains introduced. So you don't have these huge cuts of meat, but what you do have is great quality. And so I highly, highly, highly recommend, you know, if you can, at your local, in your area, try to find somebody who only grass feeds their beef. To me, it has a lot more flavor than grain-fed or grain-finished. I mean, well, even grain-finished wouldn't be bad, because they spent most of their life eating grains. They were just the last couple months of their life they were fed grain to bulk them up.
It's also a happier cow. So
Yes, a happier cow. Happier cow.
There we go.
Happy cows give you happy cheese, and happy cheese comes from California. Well, actually, I have that wrong. Happy cheese come from happy cows, and happy cows do not come from California. So now that we have our brisket nice and rubbed down with our salt and pepper mixture, what we're gonna do is we're gonna rely on old Smoky Joe here, Oklahoma Joe's Highland Smoker. Quality piece of gear. Great offset smoker. That offset smoker means the fire is over here in a firebox, which is then it's an indirect heat that's given to the smoking chamber here. All right. The reason that we use Oklahoma Joe's is they make a quality product. It's not made of aluminum or aluminium, as I say over here. It's made of steel. You know, it's quite heavy, quite robust, holds the heat really well, very well insulated. Quite like it. They have a great range of products. So if you get a chance, go out and check Oklahoma Joe's. If you're in the States, you can check them out here in the UK by going to charbroil.co.uk. Charbroil, looking at you. So now that we're ready to go, we have our nice colored smoke going, blue smoke only, no brown smoke, people. I just want to point out that I have a pan of water, a disposable pan of water in here, and I'm going to keep filling it up with water throughout. That helps increase the moistness of the brisket once it's done, and as it cooks, it helps to ensure that it doesn't dry out. But also, you get a nice pink smoke ring within the meat, and that humidity helps do that. So now that I've explained that, what I'm going to do is going to take my big old floppy piece of brisket here. I'm going to put it on, and so fat cap side up. All right, it's important that you put the fat cap side up. The part that was attached to the ribs, you went down. All right. The reason being is this fat right here, as it cooks, is going to render into the meat, giving it more flavor, giving it more moistness, all around. It's just going to be dang good. So now that we've closed our smoke chamber, what we're going to do is we're going to let it sit for a few hours. No matter how much you're tempted to open this, do not open this. Only maybe once every couple hours do you want to check it. You're going to watch your temperature gauge, make sure you're not getting too hot or too cold. Our desired temperatures, again, are 80 degrees Celsius or around 175 to 180 degrees Fahrenheit. It has been an evening and morning. I was up a few times last night. We are sitting about 21 and a half hours into our cook. The brisket's looking really nice. Tim?
Smoking away. Let's go have a look.
Come on over and give them a sneak peek.
Glory.
So the smoke is finally starting to turn back to a bluish color. We had to put more fuel on because we were kind of losing temp. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna take it out and we're gonna wrap it for this last little part of cooking. What this does is it helps to make sure that the flavors lock in, but also helps to make sure that the meat doesn't dry out. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our butcher's paper here. You want this unwaxed. Check out Pro Smoke if you're interested in getting some butcher's paper for smoking or for everyday packing of meat. Ooh, it's warm.
Careful, son.
So this is not flaky or anything. It's nice and crusty. I'm gonna shut this back while we wait. So all we're gonna do now is just I'm gonna wrap it up. Pretty easy, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna go back over here, open up my grill, my smoker. And again, shout out to Oklahoma Joe's for their great quality products. Turn the fatter side towards the heat. And there you have it, folks. We're gonna let this continue smoking for another 2.5 hours, and we'll see you when it's ready. It's time to take the brisket off, but we're not gonna take it and slice it. That's the wrong thing to do. Why? If you all remember in my previous videos, what do we do with beef? We let it rest. Not just beef, but most meat. You let it rest if you take it off. So what we have here is our trusty cooler, or if you don't have a cooler, you can get multiple towels, bathing towels, and wrap it in multiple bathing towels. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take it off, we're gonna let it set for 30 minutes. 30 to 45, anywhere in there. It's gonna be great. It's gonna rise in temperature by like an extra, I don't know, anywhere from 2 to 5 degrees Celsius. So it's anywhere from 5 to 10 degrees Fahrenheit. Shout out to Meter. You know what? This is a really, it's the first time I've used it. I really like it because it gives you a lot of information. I have one right now. Man, I really could do with multiple, because then I can cook multiple things at one time. So hey, Meter, looking at you. So my meter says we're sitting at about 75 degrees internal temperature. Since it's gonna rise by another, you know, few degrees. We want to get up to 80. This is about the good time to take it off. So we're gonna go ahead and take it off. Oh, it's gonna be good. 24 hours on the smoke, 30 minutes in the resting box. We're ready to slice and serve. Just want to give a shout out to our Texas Tangy Slaw that we have here that's going to be served as a side with the brisket. Watch out for that recipe in another episode. Yeah, so as Ben would say, let's get involved. Lovely. I'm cutting a test piece to see which way the grain's fully running. It looks like we cut with the grain on that one, so we're gonna cut against the grain. So, start over here. Oh, look at that. Just look at it. Oh, Dimses.
My mouth has been watering for 4.5 hours. Now I'm starving.
My zone right here.
This is your jam, bro.
For all of those people who like a little squishy juice video.
Oh.
Do it again? All right.
Do it again. We literally have a whole crowd. That's
yes.
Good.
It is juicy, I must say, people.
Can I please eat some now?
Damn.
Oh my goodness. I'm not just saying that. What the hell? 24 hours. I just spat everywhere. That is delicious.
People.
Oh, mate. That was full ball, that was.
All right, guys, that's us. We have our Central Texas style smoked brisket with a Central Texas style barbecue sauce and our tangy Texas slaw. 24 hours on, we're hungry. Let's dig in. My word.
Mm. 24 hours? Was it worth it?
It was.
Worth it every time.
Worth it.
From us at the table outside, guys, we love you.
We love you. We'll see you next time.